Hi guys, I've had loads of questions regarding what heaters I've chose for this tank, and I think that's due to the fact that if you've ever run an all-in-one before, you know that the heaters can be a bit tricky to fit in the rear compartment. So I'm just going to go over what I've chosen and why. Now, as you can see, I've gone for not one but two of the Eheim 75 watt heaters. Now, I've chosen the glass heaters from Eheim for a multitude of reasons really. I've used lots of these in the past, never had any issues with them. I do tend to change my heaters around the 18-month mark anyway, whether there's anything wrong with them or not. But I have run these on different tanks and freshwater systems for 3, 4, 5 years and never had a minute's problem with them. So these are the ones I wanted to use. Yeah, I could have used, a little titanium heater that was 150 watt would have fit in, or there is other makes, but I've never had a problem with Eheim. The stuff's amazing. I just wanted to use these. The only issue that the Eheim heaters have is they're long. They're loads longer than any other manufacturers. So anything bigger than the 75 watt was just too tall and sticking out the water above the minimum line you can see on the boxes there. So I had to go for something less powered, but I needed around 150 watt for this size tank. So here we are, 275 watts. Now I'm going to show you how I've set these up, how I've connected the two to the controller. So that's enough about this. So let's have a quick look how they fit on the tank and how I've plugged them in. Here they are in the rear chamber. As you can see, they fit perfectly. If I just lift one of them out, you can just see if I can get, there you go, you can just see the minimum submersible line there, which they sit about 20 mil underneath. So perfect for this size tank. They fit low enough that I can still get the rear cover on to keep things looking tidy, and they both fit together in this chamber, which gets really good water flows left to right. It actually comes up from the bottom past the heaters over the last baffle into the return chamber, so perfect position for them. Now, as I said before, I could have got away with one shorter heater. I could have got a titanium heater that fit the right height, so you haven't got to use one of these if you do opt for one of these Aquariums4life tanks, but that's just the solution I came up with because I wanted to use that specific heater, and I'll explain a bit about that why. Now, I'm not a big tech guy, I'm not a big gear junkie. I like to keep the tanks as simple as possible, but the one thing I do think is an absolute minimum on a tank is a heater controller. And on this particular tank I'm trying one I haven't used before, which is the Reef factory thermo control. If I just pan down into the cabinet, I'll show you, just talk a little bit about it. Now here it is. It's quite simple, really neat little box. You see the glow on top? Actually, I'll just mention that. That's just to show it's plugged in. It's soft light. It's not as bright as the camera's picking up. It's quite nice, but it just obviously just tells you in an instant it's on. The actual red light above it there is to say it's heating, which is this is the heat plug. That's the cooling side, and then there's a separate display here, little dual colour display, which I've mounted it just there, so it's just obvious when you open the door. But the app's amazing. It's a really good app. You get notifications from your phone, and I'll be honest, that hasn't moved. That's 25.0 25.1 ever since it's been up. It's rock solid. Now, the couple of issues, the way I'm setting it up, is you only get one plug for heating and one plug for the cooling. So all I've done, I've tucked it away now, so I'm not going to pull it all out for the video, but all I've done, the single plug here just runs to a dual extension lead. It's only about probably 40 centimeters with a dual plug on, so I've got both the heaters in that, and then the extension lead plugs into there. I've not got the cooling on yet, so I will probably pick a fan up before the summer, but as of yet it's just empty. Now I will touch on one thing. I've seen on other reviews and other videos that people have been a bit negative about the way the plugs are angled together. I can see what they're talking about, but I'll be honest, I've not had any issues. I think it's just due to, if I just pull this one out, obviously they're made for the European plug, they just come with an adapter for the UK market, but unfortunately it just angles the plugs together. I can see maybe if your heater or your cooler have got a big chunky plug on them, the wires might get in each other's way there, but I can't see that'll just tuck back a little bit, and the other plug on the top, so no real issues for me with there. We'll touch on that a bit more. It's so far it's been on the tank nearly 2 weeks now, and it's a great bit of kit. Like I said, temperature hasn't moved, it's rock solid. The app's brilliant, really intuitive app, probably the best aquarium app I've used actually, to be honest. So yeah, at the moment, big thumbs up for the Reef factory. Now I'm hoping, I'm not dosing anything on this tank at the moment, obviously it's just in its infancy stages. I'm going to try one of the single part dosing from Tropic Marine. It's going to be a really low demand tank anyway, so I'm hoping to try one, either the All for Reef or the Carbo Calcium to start with. So I'm only going to need a single doser, again keeping things as simple. And after my experiences with thermo control, I'm 100% sure now I'm just going to pick up one of the single dosers from Reef factory for this tank. So that's the thermo control. How I've set these up, and this is another reason why I wanted the dual heaters and the glass ones with their own thermostats. Now the thermostats on here are both set to 26.5. Tested them independently of the tank just to make sure they heat the water to 26.5, then turn off. So just in case, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen, or it's very, very rare, but it's just a backup that if ever the thermo controller did stick on in the on position, power the heaters, all it'll do is warm the water up to 26.5, and then the heater's internal thermostat will kick off. So it's almost a backup to the backup, if you like, but just a little thing I've always done, and that's how a lot of people set them up. So, you know, it's just a bit of added layer of safety, bit of redundancy. And the actual temperature probe is on the left corner as the water flows in, so it's measuring the water as it flows in there, heating it there, so I'm getting a really true reading, and it's a good, you know, the heat's well dispersed throughout the tank. So yeah, that's about it on the heating side of it, guys. Again, thanks for watching the video. Tank's coming on now. I've turned the lights to quite white just to help with the video, and as you can see, the two mollies, and I said they're well settled in, as you can, I've told you, like, you know, they'll follow your finger around, which my son thinks is great. So yeah, cool little guys there, and that's it so far. So thanks for watching along, and as always, take care, happy reefing.